Okay. Are you getting me? I'm gonna sit then.
It doesn't look bad.
I look fat when you do that. I don't like when you do that.
Not about looking fat, Mike.
I'm not fat. Okay, I swear to God. Steve, I will fight you in all.
Hey, it'll be the first time I heard that.
Oh, God. You ready?
Yeah.
So today, on Soccer and Beer, so I coach your son, my nephew, Charlie, U10. You're the assistant coach, which is also great. And I think that's very relatable to everyone else in the club world, having a dad be on the sidelines, especially at that age. But our goal at U10, at U12, is to get to Academy, which is going to get us traveling to Detroit every other weekend, which already is going to limit people right away off the bat. That hinders so many people from being able to make that travel, to expend just to go there every other weekend to be on the team. So as a parent, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm going to let Charlie or any of my kids decide, and they have to tell me, Dad, I really just want to focus on soccer. I just want to play soccer. I just want to do this. And then when it comes to that
at U12, you're asking that.
Right.
And you know what, as a coach, and if so, I did this thing at the Baltimore Soccer Conference, we're at Bundesliga, at the team Dortmund. They are practicing 4 times a week at that age, and that commitment's already there.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's not really a choice for the kid at all, right?
But we're not going to be Bundesliga.
No. Right.
And that's my problem with all this.
Well, I think that's an advantage we can have in this country.
Yes.
Right? That they don't have. Is we are developing many different skills in the other sports.
Yes.
So we need to embrace that and not try to turn ourselves into a Bundesliga where you're practicing 4 times a week.
100%.
All you're doing, I think, in that case is you're going to burn out the kid by the age. I mean, it happened to you, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It did happen to me, 100%.
You burn the kid out, at age 16, 17, and they don't want to play anymore. Because then it is not fun. When you start making the game about work, that's when you have to start questioning, what are we doing? I don't want a kid's 9, 10, and he's going to work. That's a problem. We're playing soccer.
And that's what Ma even said to me when I did ODP, because on Sundays we'd have these 4-hour practices in Lansing, and I wasn't coming home necessarily super happy.
No, exactly. And you got to ask yourself, what's the percentage of, what's the benefit of doing that? Did you really think you were going to make the national team, or did you think, of course you probably did.
Yeah, I did. I'm arrogant. Yep, I did.
And I think they trap a lot of kids and parents down. My kid's going to make it. My kid's going to get a college scholarship. And so they ramp that up and say, you have to do this travel. If you do this travel, I promise you, you're going to be a starter on the high school team, and you'll get a college scholarship at the very least. And, parents buy that. And the reality is what? Maybe, 5% of all those kids?
What are your goals for your son? Because to be honest about Charlie, he's got talent. He's athletic, and he's got the work ethic, and he's coachable. And so he's got this concoction that works.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is on him.
Sure.
I think when you look at people that have natural talent, he's not necessarily in that category because it's not soccer natural, because soccer natural is smaller, and he's a taller kid, and he's bigger, but I think that's also very...
Right. It's kind of like Josie Altidore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that about him.
You can use his size.
And I can, and there's no way in hell that I would ever give up on that and say that he can't be something, and I think he can. But as a parent, you're in select right here. You see kind of the landscape being, okay, for him to really be maybe a Division I scholarship, he's got to go through this system. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
I don't like it because I still want him to play baseball. He loves baseball, in the spring. I see that already in this year. I see that coming at a crossroads, and that's where I have a problem, where he has to choose a sport at 9. I think it'll come 12, 13. I talked to Jean about that too. He kind of thinks that's the age where he thinks a student should make a decision, or a kid. Which, okay, if we're going to all go club level and do that, sure. But it has to come from Charlie. I'm not going to say, okay, you're 13 now, choose one. We're cutting it off. And I think I'll see that from watching him, watching his passion, watching what he's doing in the backyard on his own. You know, that's it. I mean, but for the most part, I think playing sports just makes you, you know, especially soccer, right? It makes you learn how to work as a team, learn how to collaborate with others. It gives you a foresight, you know, the ability to kind of think through what you're going to do before you go and act that play. There's tactics, there's strategy involved. You have to play together. You have to.
Isn't it more
together,
so in soccer
right?
than in other sports,
Yes,
though?
yes, and I think that's where the American culture doesn't understand soccer, because they say, oh, they're just kicking the ball around, and there's not enough goals and scores, and they would want high energy, high impact. But the way that, I mean, it's almost like you see some of the German teams, right, play. They kind of lull you to sleep. They'll pass left, and then they'll pass it right, and everyone's moving, and they'll pass it left,
Very methodical.
and then they'll pass it right, and all of a sudden they look for that one break in the chain of the defense, and boom, they're making a run, give go, caught you on your heels, done.
Very perceptive.
And it's beautiful to see soccer played at that level, and I think that's what you're doing a good job with the team now.
We are.
Yeah. So there's lots of things in soccer and sports that's why I have him in sports, right? It's not to become a professional soccer player, you know, or a baseball player. I really doubt, you know, that's going to ever happen. It's just to become a better person, you know, a leader, one who can work well with others, to have self-discipline, to develop vision, his intellect, and you know.
So I think in soccer, more than any other sport, like what you're saying in a roundabout way, is the critical thinking aspect of the game, where there's not the coach on the field making those decisions. So you're applying what you've learned.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes. I mean, they always say what soccer players do it for 90 minutes, right? I mean, there is no timeout.
And what life lesson is that?
Right.
I mean, the life lessons, the reason why I'm so passionate and want to get back to the game is because how many life lessons I've gotten from this game where I've learned to persevere and being down and not out, simply because I know how things quickly they can change.
Absolutely.
And learning the right tactic, where if I keep pushing and I keep pressing and I find maybe the thing that works, and like you said, like the chink in the armor for the defense, and all of a sudden that works, that allows me 4 goals in 10 minutes and gets me right back into this. And what a life lesson that applies to the rest, you know, of what's going on around you.
Kind of wait for your moment to attack.
Being patient, but keep learning from failures and keep figuring it out and keep pushing forward. And you know, and that's part of it. Soccer to me is a lot more than just a game. You know what? It's this confined space where you can almost like view, like, I don't know. It's very beautiful.
Agreed.
So let's take a minute here to kind of, we might cut this out.
I'm going to spice my beard in the meantime and look really professional.
All right, so we're gonna we'll just go to the last bullet point, and then we can kind of fade out and just have this be our last one.
All right.
So you have your discrepancies with it's weird because we have this fine line now or this weird relationship with this club that we both are doing, that we want to get them to this level that we don't necessarily agree with. That I think when we get there, I don't know, we'll have a new perspective. Maybe we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen once we get Charlie to Academy. We'll see what happens. But what do you think now, from grassroots to youth level, do we need to see happen for American soccer to be a top 10 country, to be successful?
I think when it becomes just a part of nature when they play, when they go out to recess, right? That they're grabbing the soccer ball, not the football, not the gaga ball, not the baseball, or hopscotch. They want to play soccer. I think it starts there.
Yeah, hopscotch is the death of soccer.
Hopscotch, I tell you. Damn hopscotch. Damn you. But, I just think, and they watch it more. I think growing up and watching it from a young age, that's what Henry's doing now, that's what Charlie's doing now. I think that's huge because it makes you a student of the game right away. You see conceptually where things line up. So then when you go on the practice field and you learn skills, you understand the why of why you're learning the skill, right? What you're doing, what this is all about. I'm not just doing ball taps because coach told me to do ball taps. I'm really fast at ball taps, right? I understand that's going to help my.
And that's kind of how we were.
Yeah, right. That is how
we didn't understand the tick-tocky, the ball taps, whatever it is we were doing.
Right, and I made the same mistake too. I mean, that's how I coach was. Let's get some sweet different activities going. No method, rhyme, or reason behind it. Just let's keep the kids engaged. Let's just do a whole bunch of sweet different activities that maybe lined up or maybe didn't.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we're a mix of offense, defense, and so we're now it's definitely more conceptual, and that's what I've learned a lot. You know, with you coaching with you is how you have
which I've learned from Jolt quite a bit.
Strategy.
So kudos to you, Jolt.
And development. So yeah. So that's why I have been in the program too. Because you and Jolt, you guys know your soccer so well. You live and breathe it. It's evident as you have a show about soccer and beer, right? I mean, so that's the kind of people you want your kid to want to sport for. You know, someone who's passionate, not just I have to do this otherwise I don't have a team.
Yeah, and I think
it's
so. I went to this conference in Baltimore, the United States Coaches Conference, and one of the things that kind of eked me was that I was watching these coaches around that I know they're going to implement into their curriculum right away, right after this, when I was watching these training sessions, but they don't know why they're doing it. And that was my biggest thing. Like I was able to go and ask why. Why does it work this way? Why are you asking these questions? Because I wanted a deeper understanding. And I do think the backbone of American soccer is very insecure. I think we don't believe that we know what we're talking about. Hence why we have these clubs that hire people with a foreign accent, because we just trust right away that they know what the heck they're talking about. We just don't, because it hasn't been in here. It hasn't been ingrained in our society. So, and that's the Soccer Rebellion. That's what we're doing, is trying to just promote that playground and just create and reveal this passion of the game that's American driven. That's multi-athletes playing the game, like you hinted to, that we're not going to change that. I don't want to change that.
I think that's the advantage.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the advantage. We're going to have these crazy good athletes. All of a sudden, when LeBron James and Odell Beckham's playing on the United States soccer team. By the way, Odell Beckham did play soccer at U13 and was recruited to play for the United States national team. And he said no, because he didn't see a future in it. So we have him on the hook. We just can't do this because it's not ingrained in our culture, and we don't have the right image for it.
Right. Exactly.
So, anyway, dude, thank you. Cheers to water, drink, whatever you want to do.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.